think I'm gonna have to. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is TheUzigunner, and I'm here to bring to you all the week 3 of the Ultimate Battle League. We're going to be going up against none other than my good friend Joedor, who is the coach of the Seattle Seakings. Very excited for that match. Now, first things first, I just want to run through a couple of number of things. One of them being the fact that, first of all, sorry if my voice is a bit down. My sister is actually working on her assignment, so I don't necessarily want to sound too loud and cramper style or anything like that. So yeah, I hope you guys are gonna be bearing with me during that. And second of all, just another heads up. This match had to be done on Showdown, unfortunately, because like Joedor and mine's 3DS literally just didn't want to connect with each other. Like, I unironically couldn't even freaking find out his team composition until our match at Showdown just started. So yeah, that's just how bad it was. So on that note, I'm really sorry guys, because like I'm pretty sure you're all here for Wi-Fi content, but sadly I'm not going to be able to deliver it this time around. But to make it up to you guys, I'm going to make this a live narration, which I think you all will like, because I sound much more natural during that, and I honestly just prefer that much more than I do when doing some post-com narration, because I think it's just really pointless at the end of the day. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy that. I'm still gonna try to make add these edits to entertain each and every single one of you. So yeah, let's see how it goes. Now thirdly, this is more or less on the note of my week 4 match against Deebs, and I'm actually just gonna say it outright right here and now when I say that I actually got the forfeit victory. Like during then, Deebs was basically having a tough time arranging things because of IRL issues, and he brought it up to me and said that I could have the forfeit victory, which I accepted. Now granted, it took him 2 days after to come to me and say that he's actually cool with doing the match if he wanted to, and like if I wanted to, but it will stick with the forfeit decision if I would take the forfeit victory. And I'm really sorry for doing this, guys, but I did take the forfeit victory, because this brings me to my 4th point, assuming I'm counting right, that is. But as of now, my university life is more or less transitioning to a point where all my assignments, all my class tests, and eventually the final exam is going to culminate all in the end of October to the entire month of November. So on that note, I am very much going to not have the time that I need to do these things very leniently. So considering how first of all getting the match done, and then sending it all over to Citra, and then recording it, and then giving my team builder sessions, and then the edits, and then the uploads with a horrible internet speed, might I add, it really just takes up a lot of time. And after doing the trial and error on my own, and considering how I need this week particularly to catch up on some of my subjects that I'm lagging behind in, I was forced to take the forfeit victory in the end. So yeah, I'm really sorry for that, guys. So yeah, there won't be any week 4 uploads, sadly enough, but I'll make it up to you guys someday. But like for now, I'm really not in the best position to do such things, honestly. So yeah, I hope you guys understand. Yeah, on the basis of that, that's pretty much all there is to it that I got covered here. Of course, let me show you my team, and let me show you Joedor's team, and just from team preview alone, it is as clear as day that his team has this weird matchup against me where he does have threats such as Mega Houndoom to run circles around me, but at the same time I definitely have threats of my own to actually win the game on my own. And what bigger threat than the MVP of this season, which I'm going to make sure he reaches, by the way, Ron, the Mega Aggron, rocking Heavy Slam, Earthquake, Ice Punch, and Rock Polish. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, this set alone has so much potential in cleaning up Joedor, and I know for a fact that he will not expect it, unless of course he's just reached the transcendent stage. But yeah, like considering how I have so many threats like Infernape and Cure and Black and so on, I really think that Joedor will not expect an offensive Mega Aggron this time around that plays the role of a sweeper. And honestly, like, it has such great matchup here. Like, granted, he does have Pokemon such as Tangrowth and Slowking, but realistically speaking, after I'm done taking them out, what exactly is stopping Mega Aggron from running circles around his team, huh? Absolutely nothing. Yeah, Bronzong could definitely play a role, but honestly, wearing that thing down was honestly going to be very easy. So yeah. Oh yeah, also shoutouts to Zazo for this time actually just outright building this team for me. I am not going to take any sort of credit whatsoever for this team this time around, guys, because again, I was lacking time, and Zazo really ended up coming through for me and ended up building this team for me. Anyways, next up we got Wuji Shang, this especially defensive Infernape with Slack Off, Stealth Rock, Toxic, and Fire Punch. Now this is a pretty interesting set, which is pretty much designed to take on Mega Houndoom. Because again, that thing really matches up very well against the vast majority of my squad, and surprisingly enough, especially defensive Infernape actually tanks so many hits. It's actually pretty crazy. Like a non-invested Skull from a Slowking does like only 47% to 50%, yeah, which is actually pretty damn mental. So this is definitely a surprise set that I can't see put in the work if I play my cards with it right. So yeah. Next up we got Izuru, the Choice Scarf, Zoroark with Pursuit, Knockoff, U-Turn, and Memento. Now this set in particular is designed to make sure that this thing cosplays as Infernape. Because obviously, say hypothetically he leads off with something like Tornadus or anything along those lines, which would make me want to U-turn out against it, Joedor will be led to believe that my Infernape will have U-turn as one of its moves. And on that note, I can definitely use that to play mind games with this thing and make it harder for him to realize whether I am the Infernape or the Zoroark. Until and unless, you know, he finds my exact set. So yeah, that's pretty much all there is to it about it. And Memento is definitely here to set up the sweep for my Mega Aggron if the situation does present itself, and at the same time my other win con, which I will go into down the line. But yeah, next up we got Alphin, the Citrus Berry Chestnut with Spike, Super Fang, Roar, and Toxic, and it's physically defensive as all hell because it's my Zygarde counter. Like, straight up, there's absolutely nothing that a Zygarde can do against me, because if it tries to substitute, I roar its ass out. If it tries to Dragon Dance, I Toxic its ass, and Super Fang its ass down at the point of no return. And considering the fact that he has Groundium Z as opposed to Dragonium Z, there is no chance in hell he's going to be able to take on my Chestnut 1v1 unless he happens to unless he happens to be a special set with Sludge Wave, which is definitely a set that I can see him bringing, considering how much of a nice lure it does happen to be. So yeah, that's definitely something to watch out for. But other than that, it's really here to set up spikes and pretty much set up an approach where Stealth Rocks along with its Hazard Stack through courtesy of Spikes is going to set up an end game where this bad boy, aka my Royal Bengal, aka my Combine, Raikou, or my Mega Aggron will have the opportunity to set up and just outright win on its own. So yeah. So on the note of my Raikou, we have Thunderbolt, HPI's Combine, and Substitute. Again, this set is very solid, and considering the fact that I'm modest Thunderbolts are going to hurt a shit ton. And in fact, if the situation does end up presenting itself, +1 Combine for my Raikou actually does happen to 2-shot an Assault Vest Tangrowth from after our Stealth Rocks and 3 layers of Spikes, if I do happen to set up the end game like that. So that's definitely a late game cleaner that can actually just win on its own. And I'm definitely looking forward to putting in the work with it, because again, Raikou is my mascot, and you know what, I want to make sure I put in work with it. But anyways, last but not least, we got the Grr, aka the Crobat, rocking the Ruse, Super Fang, Defog, and Brave Bird. Now initially this set was actually a different set, which I will keep hidden in case Joedor and I face each other again. But in the end, I decided to make this more specially defensive, because honestly, after having the mocks, I realized that I use Crobat much better if it plays the role of a supportive mon, and with this Welcome, more or less, going to take hits decently, not the best, but decently from Life Orb, Tornadus, and so on, before choosing to whittle them down with Super Fang and so on. And obviously Defog is here to ensure hazard control, and at the same time Brave Bird is here because it's my main stab, and it's also here to hit something like a Houndoom or other Pokemon that I don't necessarily remember. So yeah, that's pretty much all there is to it for this team, guys. Hope you all enjoyed. Again, sorry for the rambling, and with that, enough of me rambling on. Let's move on into the game, shall we? Okay guys, we are back right now, and unfortunately we're going to have to do this on Showdown because literally my internet and Joedor's internet just hate each other. Like, we constantly DC before the battle would even begin, and like literally I just found out his team composition right now. So yeah, I'm gonna lead off with my I'm actually gonna lead off with my Zoroark disguised as Infernic, because I figured that, you know what, if I could catch him on a, you know, potentially leading off with Bronzong and all, I could scare him out and potentially get and have a quick KO on that Slowking, which would really help in setting up for the Mega Aggron sweep. So he leads off with this Tornadus, which is something I didn't expect. Like personally, I thought he could potentially want to lead off with Bronzong, but even then, like, it's still a fair lead because he more or less gets a free U-turn on pretty much everything. So yeah, I'm gonna U-turn here. I don't expect you to be Choice Scarf, because in my honest opinion, you benefit so much more from being he honestly benefits 1,000 times more from being Life Orb, which is pretty ideal in this matchup. Like another potential option could have been Z Hurricane or Z Heat Wave or something like that, but considering the fact that he's only restricted to Groundium Z, this is actually something that's kind of beneficial for me in terms of figuring out what kind of set he could potentially be. So yes, I get a U-turn off on this thing, and I want to know exactly what kind of a set you are. It's another thing I'm kind of grateful for when it comes down to playing on Showdown, because unlike in Wi-Fi, you can find out exactly what kind of spreads they could have. And so U-turned it like 13 to 15-ish, so I think it's safe to assume that he has no HP investment here whatsoever, which is pretty good, I guess you could say. I'm definitely going to go out in my Royal Bengal, because it definitely is something that could do more. He misses his Hurricane, which is kind of unfortunate, so for that, really sorry, man. But this is pretty good for me, because now what I can do is pretty much find out exactly what kind of set his Tangrowth could potentially be, and exactly what is his immediate response. What would his immediate response be? He's pretty much free to go for a U-turn or something like that, because I mean, actually not really. If he's like, I could be Choice Scarfed or something. So I'm still gonna Thunderbolt, find out exactly what his immediate switch in is. If it is Tangrowth, I'm going to pretty much assume that this thing is AV, because otherwise you don't switch that thing in on a Raikou at all. So yeah, it's also pretty good because if I can get a potential free switching into my Crobat, this would actually be nice. But yeah, he goes out into his Nihilego, perfectly fine. I think what I want to do, like the ideal switching would definitely be the Aggron, and that would seem like the best play here. But then again, you know what? Yeah, his Stealth Rocker could definitely be his Bronzong, so I don't expect him to be a Rocker set, but rather a T-Spiker. Yeah, he actually does have T-Spikes, which is very good to know. And here, what I am going to do would have to be just predict him to want to hard swap out into something like Slowking and double out into my Crobat, because you do not stay in on a Mega Aggron. You have absolutely nothing that could potentially mark my face. So in that regard, I need to make sure that I defog the T-Spike away ASAP, because it's gonna prove to be quite detrimental towards attempting to do things with particularly my Raikou and other stuff. So yeah, I definitely don't think the Houndoom is coming or anything. So I'm gonna go out in my Crobat and pretty much take this as the perfect opportunity to just but if he wants to set up his rocks, that's fine. But my priority should definitely be defogging this T-Spike away, because that's definitely much more problematic to my squad. So I'm gonna defog again, see exactly what he wants to do. He can go for a Gyro Ball, that's perfectly fine. It's gonna do a decent chunk of damage, which is something I don't necessarily like. But my goal is to make sure that I whittle you down enough to the point where you can pretty much get revenge easily. So he goes for an Earthquake, which I find to be a pretty unnecessary prediction on his behalf, if I'm being brutally honest. The thing is, if I Roost here, he pretty much is a free hit off on my Crobat and can do pretty much whatever he wants. So, I mean, like, yeah, he can keep going for Gyro Balls, but like that's a 3-shot on me at best. So, I think I'm gonna go for another Super Fang, because I want you to get whittled down to the point of no return. And if that means, you know, giving up my Crobat, then so be it. This thing's main goal, anyways, would have to be just pretty much ensuring the fact that he does not get T-Spikes on my side on my side of the field. So if that's what I'm gonna have to do, then so be it, really. And I kind of want to hide the fact that my Infernape is actually a supportive set this time around. So yeah, he's definitely doing much more damage to me than I'd like. So I guess I kind of misplayed by choosing to just roost off all this damage. Actually, you know, I'm definitely recovering more health than losing it. So, yeah, that's definitely something that I can benefit from at the end of the day. So I'm gonna go for one more roost. I mean, if he goes for EQ, that's gonna be pretty bad. So I pretty much want to force him to continuously go for you know, gyro balls on my face. As yeah, like see now I've pretty much reached a pretty decent amount of HP. He has only 3 more gyro balls left, which is definitely something that I need to take into consideration as I go on further into this game. And it seems that gyro ball is more like a roll here. So yeah, definitely a lot to consider. I'm just gonna keep going for that. Yeah, that was definitely my best play in my honest opinion. And now what I can do is just defog here and pretty much force him to reset Stealth Rock up again, because then I can ensure the fact that, I mean, he has only 2 more gyro balls left, so this is pretty nice. This is definitely pretty nice. So I'm gonna roost here one more time and pretty much try to, you know, set up a game plan which ensures the fact that Crobat stays healthy to live to fight another day, but at the same time, you know, be strong enough to take on other of his threats. Like, he only has 1 more gyro ball left, so that's definitely a very good situation for me. I don't know exactly what he wants to go for, but if he wants to waste his final Super Fang, then, I mean, if he wants to waste his final gyro ball, then so be it. I really don't lose anything at the end of the day by doing all of this. So now I'm actually going to hard swap out in my Wujishang. If he goes for an Earthquake, that's a good play on his behalf, but he doesn't, so that's actually pretty damn sick. He finds out I'm leftovers now, so like he will now more or less know whether my, like, yeah, he could find out exactly whether I'm a Zoroark or not more easily, which is kind of unfortunate and not what I wanted, but you know what? If it means that I get to set my rocks up again, that is exactly what I'm going to do. I can defog them any day, so yes, I make the better play by setting up my Stealth Rocks here, which is definitely definitely something I'll benefit from in the long run. And as of now, I want to put this thing on the timer because, again, I want to set up an end game which has Mega Aggron Cleaning House, and one of the main things that's in my way of doing that would have to be that Slowking of his. So if I am able to hypothetically set up, you know, put this thing on a timer with Toxic, I can definitely set up an end game where I can win with my Mega Aggron, especially after setting up enough spikes. And also ensuring the fact that his Tangrowth ends up pushing up Daisies, which is something that I can definitely do. And other stuff, I will definitely be able to benefit from that at the end of the day. So yeah, I'm gonna be able to connect my Toxic, which is pretty damn sick. He's gonna be able to go for a Scald, but as you can see, that's doing pretty bad damage to me. So in that sense, I'm gonna actually slack off and get myself back up to a good amount of health, and more or less set myself up in a position where I am able to make sure that if every time Slowking comes in, it's gonna come with an eye. So yeah, I'm gonna go for slack off. He's gonna go for Side Shock, which is definitely gonna be doing much more than I'd like to take. So as of now, I am definitely gonna go out in my Raikou. I see absolutely no reason not to. He could definitely go for a Combine here, which is a very fair play on his behalf. But what I'm gonna do right now would have to be hard swapping out in my Zoroark, because I don't. First of all, you do not under any circumstance go for yeah. So what item could you be though? You do not under any circumstance stay in, because Thunderbolt still actually can still do a good chunk of damage to you. But let me see that first. I think he just benefits so much more from Side Shocking or Hard Swapping into Nihilego, honestly. But that's just me. So he's at +1 special attack, +1 speed def. My Raikou still does. Sorry about that. My Raikou still absolutely obliterates this thing. So I don't see the idea. I mean, like, I don't see the attraction in wanting to stay in. So I'm actually gonna hard swap out into my Zoroark because A, it covers the potential play of him staying in and going for a Side Shock. And at the same time, it also covers the potential play of him going out into his Nihilego, which he very well could. So yeah, I think it covers both plays at the end of the day. So even if he goes for a Side Shock, I'll take literally no damage from this. So yeah, I'm gonna go out in my Crobat. He actually stays in and goes for a Scald, which I did not expect. And thankfully though, he is not able to snag a burn on me, which is pretty damn sick. But yeah, I'm kind of surprised he stayed in there. Like, personally speaking, I would have kept Slowking around, but yeah, I definitely didn't expect that play. I really didn't expect that play at all. Yeah, it could very well be Colbur Berry. So I'm actually just gonna U-turn out here He goes out into his Neo-Lego, which I'm kind of surprised by, but it's whatever. Man, I wish I just clicked knockoff. Yeah, then this thing would have been gone, and I wouldn't have to worry about this thing. But it's whatever. The situation calls for it, and now I'm pretty much forced to go out in my Mega Aggron and just straight up go for a heavy slam. Yeah, that's definitely my play here. Like, the benefit from this play, I guess you could say, would have to be potentially finding out exactly what his Tangrowth set could be, because if he swaps out into that, which I think he very well could, it's pretty much, you know, a coin flip between either his Tangrowth or his Slowking. Because if each of these Pokemon end up coming in, they are pretty much his only closest answers, pretty much the only answers that he has for this thing. And considering my investment, I definitely killed a Neo. Like, yeah, it gets absolutely murdered. So, yeah. I don't think he should go out into his Houndoom personally. Because, like, again, Earthquake is a very free play. If he goes out into this, he's definitely gonna die. So, yeah, he's gonna choose to make the better play by sacking off his Neo-Lego, which is definitely a good play on Joedor's behalf, because now this more or less gives him a free switch into what I assume to be his Mega Houndoom, which is definitely a very huge problem to my squad. Yeah, especially if he manages to set up a nasty plot on my face. So I'm trying to think of a scenario where I can avoid it doing what it wants. But no, instead he goes out into Tornadus, which I guess is a fair play on his behalf. Definitely a fair play. But I think my priority as of now would have to be definitely getting the defog off. Yeah, definitely would have to be getting the defog off. Like, he 110% goes for a Heat Wave here, in my honest opinion. And yeah, my Wujishang is in a dangerously low amount of health, so I need to try to find a way to, you know, get this thing back into the game. Yeah, so Heat Wave does 34 to 41.3, so I think I'm gonna go hard into this because I kind of have to at this point. But no, instead he chooses to defog, which is actually very good for me, because now this, like, he pretty much got rid of one of my biggest problems for me, so that's actually pretty damn hilarious. But anyways, my play now is to definitely just go for a Brave Bird, because if I can, you know, get you out of my face, that is definitely going to, there's definitely going to be a victory in that. So him doing that is very good, because now what I can do would have to be definitely going out into my Mega Aggron, which is not my Mega Aggron, just so you know. And now I can definitely get the KO with Pursuit. Just being able to get you out of my life for good is something that I consider a very huge blessing. I don't know why I made it sound like that, but yeah. Actually, no. The thing is, while I could definitely choose to pursue this thing and get it out of the game for good, it still comes with an opportunity cost of him potentially going out into his... Yeah, definitely comes with the opportunity cost of him going hard out into his Mega Houndoom, and more or less getting a free opportunity to set up, which is something that I definitely do not want at the end of the day. And his play should be definitely switching out. Like, I don't see how you'd want to stay in when you more or less know what item I could potentially be. So, worst comes to worst, he's probably going to U-turn. And I probably need that as the opportunity to get my Infernape back up to a good amount of health. So, he stays in. Why? Man. But you know what? I considered that risk, and it was definitely something I considered worth it at the end of the day. He's gonna get a good chunk of damage off on me, but that's fine because I'm gonna be able to get that back courtesy of leftovers. And yeah, like, we're definitely not out of this game. That much I can guarantee you. Like, if he goes out into his Houndoom now and allows me to get that Thunderbolt damage off on him, I am more or less saving myself from a Mega Houndoom sweep. So, like, yeah, guys, while it may look like Pursuit was the better play, the likelihood of him potentially going out into his Mega Houndoom after and then just pretty much setting up a nasty plot and potentially cleaning out was pretty high, and was something I definitely could not afford. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna switch out into my Alphen. I really don't know exactly what he wants to do after this. I'm gonna actually double out into my Wujishang. Okay, he actually knocks off, which, alright, fair play to him, I guess. I thought he would want to take this as the chance to potentially set up rocks again, which is why I made that play, but I guess that was not what I should have done at the end of the day. Yeah, that still does way much more than I'd like. I'm still gonna slack off though, see what he wants to do. But at this point in time, I wanna try to... Actually, no, that's doing way too much. That's definitely doing way too much. So I'm gonna go out in my Alphin here, and I'm gonna Toxic here because, again, I'm definitely setting myself up for... Actually, you know what? I think I may just want to set up a Spike here. Yeah. I'll set up a Spike first, and then go for a Toxic on this thing, because one Spike more or less guarantees the fact that his Houndoom is gonna die. So... Or I probably should have just Toxic here and then swapped out in my Mega Houndoom. Alright, so he goes out into his Mega Houndoom now, which is definitely a very fair play on Joedor's behalf. Joedor, Hodor, whatever you want to call it. I cannot afford this thing to set up a nasty plot on my face. Because if he does, that is going to be endgame. Like, literally, the game ends here and now. Ah, man, if I was able to land a Toxic on this thing, I could have potentially won. But now, I don't think I like my chances, guys. As unfortunate as it is, I don't really like my chances here at all. Yeah, I'm gonna have to roar here. Sadly, I think I'm gonna have to roar here. I roared! Holy shit! I almost lost the game now. Holy shit, I almost lost myself the game. Whew. Alright. Yeah, now we're definitely in this game. We're definitely in this game now, guys. Right, so... Yeah, that was a huge-ass relief, man. Holy shit. Honestly, what I want at this stage would have to be a chance to set up my rocks again, so... Yeah, I think I'm gonna settle with setting up another layer of Spike. You can definitely go for Skull, which is not a play I agree with, like, at all. Because... What he's more or less giving me is a chance to potentially just clean up right now. So, my play now is to definitely just sack off my Zoroark, I guess. I mean, I want a Memento, and then set up. So let's see, Raikou versus Tangrowth. Oh, you Assault Vest or something. So HP Ice does that much. So if I go to +1. I mean, yeah, he could definitely 1v1 me. Yeah. I think I know what I need to do. I definitely know what I need to do here. So what I'm gonna do now is just take this chance to sack on my Infernape. Oh shit, boy. Okay, I did not expect that from him. So very good prep on Joedor's behalf. But unfortunately for him, though, it definitely comes at the expense of me just slacking off and then Toxicking. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. If he does hypothetically go out into his Houndoom, yeah. So now I'm definitely gonna get my rocks up, which I think is ideally my best play. And now I need actually no. Yeah, I'm gonna go out into my in my Chestnut here and then just start roaring shit out. Like, yeah, he could definitely go for Scald and all that stuff, but I ain't having any of that bullshit anymore, boys. I ain't having any of that bullshit. So I'm gonna set up one final layer of Spike, more or less trying to secure the fact that I could win. Like this. That's definitely my play as of now. I'm gonna set up one final layer of Spike. He's gonna go for a Psyshock. That's perfectly fine. I'm gonna go for a Toxic. Try to put this thing in range of my Mega Aggron cleaning up. So he's gonna be able to knock this thing out. But unfortunately for my friend here, it is going to come at the expense of me going for a Memento here and trying to go for a game. I'm gonna definitely try to go for a game here as, like, yeah. So at this point, it may look like what I'm doing is something that's not worth it. Okay, no, fuck. Yeah, I probably shouldn't have done that. Because the thing is, if... I can't set up yet, regrettably. Ah, this is so annoying. Okay, so he goes out into this, which I find a pretty interesting play. But, yeah, as of now, I'm definitely just gonna go for a Fire Punch. I mean, yeah, it's He's gotta go for nasty plot. He definitely does not have solar power. So yeah. Thankfully, Toxic is gonna knock him out here and now. And at this point in time, I think Raikou is my win con. Yeah. At this point, Raikou is definitely my win con here, and I need to make sure that that Tangrowth of his takes all that damage, so that my Raikou could potentially clean up. And you know what? I think I can do just that. If I am able to, you know, play smartly. Why is Zoroark still here? The fuck? Alright. It's irrelevant, but basically what I need to do. Right, so he is gonna go on into Slowking. Definitely the best play on his behalf as of now. Yeah, it's definitely his best play as of yet. I cannot let my Raikou take the damage, and so unfortunately I'm gonna have to say no to the Mega Aggron sweep. Just kind of unfortunate, as I really wanted to make that a reality. Would have been fan-freaking-tastic if it did, but yeah, the situation calling for it is saying otherwise. So I'm gonna go out in my Mega Aggron. If he gets a burn on me, that would be really shitty, but thankfully he does not. And at this point in time, I expect him to want to go for a rest or something. Ah man, if I was able to Toxic that Tangrowth, it would have been so good. So if I was able to land a Toxic on that, Tangrowth, I could have substituted and just set up an endgame where a Mega Aggron could have won. But unfortunately, that was not meant to be. So you know what? I'm gonna double here. If he stays in and like, why does he Scald? I could have just won. Is he actually trying to throw the game away like that? Oh my god. I don't even know what's going on anymore, guys. I really don't know. But at this point in time, yeah, I really thought I thought his play was just going for a rest here, because again, I outsped you. I clicked Earthquake 2 times and then you are dead, and the only thing you had remaining would have been the Tangrowth, which I could have been with my Infernape, or with the combination of my Infernape and Mega Aggron. So, you doing that was really surprising, honestly. It's whatever. I'm gonna go back out in my Mega Aggron. He Scalds again. Why is he sacking it? Ah, man. I don't even know anymore. Heavy Slam Heavy Slam does not kill from here, so yeah, I'm gonna you know, nab my kill. And as of I'm just really confused, guys, honestly. But it's fine. You know what? I think I could actually win this. Yeah, I definitely can win this here now, because with this Ice Sponge damage. Oh, Mega Aggron lives. Holy shit. Nice. So, against the... What's that thing called again? That Tangrowth. If he is Assault Vest, do I kill from here? Yeah, I do. Alright, I'm clicking Heavy Slam. Alright, so I think he's actually giving me the game, which I don't really understand why. But you know what? I'll take those. I will take those anytime, any place, anywhere, boy. I am definitely gonna sack out my Mega Aggron here. Like, there is no point in just potentially throwing the game away like that. So yeah, really surprised with the turn of events, but we are definitely gonna be able to win this game now, unless I happen to be very much wrong. Yeah, that's definitely gonna be game. So GG to my boy Joedor. That was definitely a very solid game. He really put me in a couple of tough situations where I needed to play aggressively to make sure that I didn't get swept by some of his mons. Like Mega Houndoom in particular was a very threatening Pokemon, especially with my Infernape getting whittled down to the point of no return. I was really surprised that he did not, you know, I was really surprised that I was able to get the call right. Yeah, but most importantly, I'm kind of surprised that he just, you know, let his Slowking die like that, because, like, in my honest opinion, like with the set that he had, he definitely could have won by, you know, getting some well-timed rests and going on from there. Like, it would have been, the game would have been lengthy, but yeah, overall, very solid week. The BPC is officially 2-0 right now. We're looking nice and clean, and yeah, we're definitely gonna try to continue our momentum. So with that being said, of course, guys, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this in any way, feel free to smash that like button. Just kidding. And with that, I bid you all adieu. Peace.